Guys, it's Holland. What's good, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing an alternative birth chart astrology reading for BTS's member J-Hope. Like I did with my Jimin astrology alternative birth chart reading, I will not be going over every single placement that he has in this new birth chart. I will only be going over the placements that have changed throughout his birth chart. So if you are curious to see his old birth chart, I will link that in the iCards above in the right hand corner. But before we get into this video, I recently uploaded a tarot card reading for Big Hit's new group Enhypen, a tarot card reading on Kang Daniel and Jihyo's breakup, and a Jungkook astrology birth chart alternative reading. So if you are interested in those videos, I will leave them in the iCards above as well. So now let's get into this video. The first change between his old birth chart and his new one is that his old birth chart describes him as an Aries rising, whereas this one describes him as a Gemini rising. Gemini risings are known for being sociable, funny, outgoing, and talkative people. Since Gemini is ruled by Mercury, this means that J-Hope's chart ruler is Mercury as well, approaching life in a fast, logical, intellectual, and communicative way. In terms of appearance, Gemini risings are known for having lean, model-like bodies, oval-shaped faces, long limbs and fingers, voluminous hair, pretty eyes, an average to tall height, and a larger forehead. The second change between his old birth chart and his new one is that his first house ruler used to be in the 11th house, but now it's in the 10th house. This indicates that he has a strong need for recognition, which can be a driving force in his life. He is usually ready to take charge, and he is fond of structure, rules, and law in his life. He readily takes responsibility for himself and for others. This also means his life and identity are oriented to his public and professional life, which creates a strong likelihood for becoming famous. Next are J-Hope's new second house placements. Before, his second house used to be in Gemini and now it is in Cancer. This indicates that he generally makes investments after thorough analysis and does not spend his money on things that would risk his financial security. He wants money to provide for his family, and he places a lot of value with his time with his family, his home, and his alone time. In terms of self-worth, Cancer second house people tend to be very insecure and internalize everything negative around them and that people say about them. His second house ruler is now in the 12th house. He may have difficulties evaluating his self-worth, which may affect his level of income. He may like to donate and spend his money on charities and the less fortunate. This can also create a sense of J-Hope not knowing where his money goes, which makes sense because technically Big Hit is the one who manages his income. Next are the changes in his third house. His third house is now in Cancer. This means he seeks good emotional support from other people in conversation, and he has a special flair and warmth in his writing or communication style. He prefers to listen to his intuition and instincts before drawing conclusions, and communicates carefully and sensitively as to not offend other people. He was likely very affected by his early environment, education, and family relationships, especially with his siblings. He is sentimental with a long memory and might hold long-term friendships from childhood. Often people with this position have a parental style of relationship with a sibling, kind of like being a second parent to their sibling. His third house ruler is now in the 12th house. The way he perceives information or communicates can be muddled or confusing. He may talk in his sleep or while in a subconscious state. He may talk to himself and information can come through his dreams. Next are the changes in his fourth house. His fourth house is now in Leo. He is proud of and creative around his home, and he was likely a very expressive, vivacious, and creative child from a young age. He expresses power and takes leadership roles in his family and at home. He invests a lot of time, energy, and money into his home, and he prefers a home that is comfortable, luxurious, and warm. His fourth house ruler is now in the 10th house. This means he may have a hard time balancing his public and private life. Family and traditions affect what career he chooses. He lives at work, such as how he and the other BTS members all sleep in a dorm room. And as I said before, with his first house ruler in the 10th house, he feels rooted when he has achieved fame and recognition. Next are the changes in his 5th house. His 5th house is now in Leo. His expectations of creative projects, children, and love relationships are high, and he functions best when these areas of his life are consistent, running well, and practical or well organized. His 5th house ruler is now in the 10th house. This means that his creativity, his ability to perform, and his ability to entertain affect his career. This is one reason why he chose a career of being a K-pop idol in which performance and entertainment are the core objective. Being creative garners him awards and accolades such as BTS Snatching Music Show Awards and award show wins. He finds fun and pleasure through his profession. He becomes well known for being a risk taker. He wants people to think he's entertaining and fun to be around. And he gets a reputation for being playful and not taking things too seriously. Next are the changes in his 6th house. His 6th house is now in Libra. His ideal work environment is original, balanced, consistent, beautiful, and pleasant, and he helps bring these attributes to his work life. He is generally kind and fair with employees, coworkers, and consumers. He has a generally good balance in his diet, but there's a strong tendency for him to overindulge in sweets. Lastly, a poor social environment in his work or routines can affect his health or affect his work performance, so it's best for him to socialize with other people on a regular basis. His 5th house ruler is now in his 10th house. He builds a reputation for being hardworking and useful. His daily habits and routines are revolved on his professional life, and his relationship with his fellow coworkers affect his reputation. His Pluto is now in the 6th house. He is extremely hardworking and sometimes even obsessed with his job. He expects a lot from his coworkers as he just wants them to live up to their full potential. He may desire autonomy in his work and may hate living a routine job and being chained to a desk, which is kind of funny considering the fact that he chose the life of being a micromanaged K-pop idol. His Jupiter is now in the 6th house. He seeks mental stimulation in his daily life. His routines can be scattered, preferring to wing it rather than having neatly things planned out. He's not as interested in the details as he is the bigger picture. Monotonous, confining jobs can wear him down and discourage him. It would be best to feel as if he's growing, learning, or heading somewhere in his job. Otherwise, he's likely to feel unfulfilled. Since Jupiter rules Sagittarius, this can bring an element of luck to his health or his ability to maintain employment. Lastly, his North Node is now in the 6th house. This means his life path involves his work life, daily routines, habits, health, fitness, and nutrition. Next is J-Hope's 7th house. His 7th house is now in Sagittarius. A major key to success in his long-term relationships is respect for one another's views. Intellectual attraction and mental stimulation is vital for him to be able to maintain interest in that person. Freedom, independence, room to make his own decisions are all vital ingredients to his partnerships. A super committed partnership makes him give a feeling of having a constricted mindset and not being able to enjoy and be his 100% authentic self. His 7th house ruler is now in the 6th house. He may seek a partner who is supportive of him on a day-to-day basis and with regards to the work he does. However, he may end up with someone who is too involved to the point of being annoying. Sometimes this indicates meeting a partner through work or being a work partner. This may also indicate a companion who supports his work or even makes his work possible. He may find himself drawn towards partners in need of help. However, he needs to realize that he shouldn't have to constantly build a partner just because they have potential, and should rather choose a partner who has already built themselves for who they are. Next is J-Hope's 8th house. His 8th house is now in Capricorn. His main goal in life is leaving a legacy and a mark on the world. He prefers to make financial investments only if he is certain they will pay off. He takes a traditional approach to money, and other people may trust him to handle their finances as well. In terms of his death, Capricorn 8th house people usually live a long time, usually until about their 80s, 90s, and so on. Since Capricorn was a skeletal system, his death may involve his bones, teeth, or work-related stresses. His 8th house ruler is now in the 10th house. He may have a reputation of being very secretive and mysterious, and his death will be very highly publicized in the media. His Neptune is now in the 8th house. He tends to worry about joint finances too, afraid of making misplaced investment. However, using his strong intuition can help him from making incorrect decisions about his financial future. He may have to sacrifice something in order for him to transform his life, and he may fantasize about experiencing intimate connection with other people and experiencing climactic experiences in life. This creates a dreamy and ethereal death, such as him not being fully conscious during his death. Next is J-Hope's 9th house. His 9th house is now in Capricorn. In terms of philosophy, he is naturally skeptical by nature and does not shy away from asking the why questions when it comes to topics of spirituality and religion. He also has a great desire to know the truth about things, and he has a rational and logical mindset to know factual information rather than thinking from his heart or his emotions. His 9th house ruler is now in the 10th house. This means his career will allow him to have a reputation across the world, and his career allows him to expand his horizons as a human being. His Uranus is now in the 9th house. He may have very unconventional views when it comes to his ethics and morals. He enjoys traveling and likes meeting new people, especially ones who can challenge his beliefs. His morals and ideals are open to change. He likes to travel as a part of a group or with his friends often, and religion may create a sense of community for him. His Mars is now in the 9th house. He may have an intense faith in life regardless of the hardships that come his way. Sometimes he unintentionally places himself into difficult situations in order to prove himself that he can push through anything. He may be optimistic and enjoy adventures and traveling. Next is J-Hope's 10th house. He now has a 10th house stellium. This means that his career, public image, and long-term goals serve very important aspects of his life. His 10th house is now in Aquarius. This means that J-Hope has a reputation for being unique, eccentric, intelligent, open-minded, free-spirited, and creative, and aspires to maintain and adopt all of these traits. Furthermore, his father may also have these traits as well. Aquarius midheavens are not known for being really caring about status, recognition, or reputation, as they think this is a useless concept to have. So J-Hope may not end up caring too much about what other people think of him. His long-term goals in life are to create friendships, join groups and organizations, make the world a better place, and do what he can to achieve his wishes and goals in life, and overall make society a better place to live. His 10th house ruler is now in the 9th house. His professional and public success allows him to expand his knowledge, as well as travel and interact with people of other nationalities, such as how BTS is constantly traveling on tour. His sun is now in the 10th house. This means that he urges to work towards his goals, success, and accomplishments. He hates taking orders from other people, which is surprising considering the fact that he chose to be a micromanaged K-pop idol. And since the sun rules Leo, which rules the 5th house, the house of entertainment and theatrics, it makes sense for him to choose a career in which he performs on stage for the enjoyment of other people. His Saturn is now in the 10th house. He takes a slow and steady approach to work, and he will most likely achieve success in his job after many years of hard work and progress. His reputation of being very practical, hardworking, and determined. Sometimes he does not have the energy to work on things. He regrets his lack of action afterward, feeling that he could have got much more done. His Mercury is now in the 10th house. This means that he is very talented at communication and uses this skill often at his workplace. He has a reputation for being very intelligent and prefers frequent changes of setting or activities in order to maintain his stimulation and be mentally challenged. His Venus is now in the 10th house. This means other people respect him for his charming manner, and he is known to have many admirers, as there is an aura of him that is very attractive and charming. He may be known for his beauty and has a strong interest in artistic fields. He has a strong need to be recognized or admired for his charm, beauty, or loving manner, but he should be careful not to become too wrapped up in what others think of this, as he might come across as fake or superficial. Next is J-Hope's 11th house. His 11th house is now in Pisces. He is very close to his friends and treats them as family members. He is very devoted to his friends and desires to help them in any way without asking for anything in return. He finds his strength in true love and friendships, and his friends are considerate about his feelings and do not take advantage of his sincerity. His dreams and goals involve helping other people. His 11th house ruler is now in the 8th house. This means he does intend to talk about his long-term hopes and wishes, and maybe with many friends in private. The groups he is a part of, such as him being in BTS, offer great opportunities for transformation and monumental experiences in his life. Last is his 12th house. His 12th house is now in Aries. This means he can be quick and final when it comes to ending things that have outworn their purpose. He should always watch out for a tendency to keep things to himself to the point that he is self-sabotaging through impulse or daring acts. He may repress his more passionate and energetic side. His 12th house ruler is now in the 9th house. He becomes more spiritual and escapes reality by pursuing higher education and traveling, and his spirituality influences his morals and what religion he follows. His moon is now in the 12th house. He finds it difficult to express his true emotions, nurturing side, and vulnerabilities. He gets hurt easily but maintains a cheerful and lively facade when he is with others. Last but not least is his south node in the 12th house. This means he needs to put less energy into his spiritual life, sacrificing for other people, selflessness, his subconsciousness, the things he repressed about himself, and escapism. Okay guys, this is the end of the reading, as well as my BTS astrology alternative birth chart readings. Next I will be doing part 2 to Blackpink's astrology birth charts, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching today's video. If you wish to purchase an astrology or tarot card reading from me, click the link in the description below. If you would like to DM me a private question that you have about one of my videos, here's my Instagram. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember to stay snatched.